there. This is the Alex at Bat podcast. I'm Jason. This is Alex, and we are here presently in the year 2017, and we will be discussing Week 15 of the NFL schedule. We're going to start with a head-to-head matchup, Denver versus the Indianapolis Colts.
What was the
Denver
reason
came out
Broncos
on top
won?
on this one, 25-13.
Also, what is up with the struggles with Jacoby
And
Brissett?
It looked like it was a strong third quarter that was leading the way with 15 points scored there. What were some takeaways from that game not that long ago? It's 2017, Week 15.
I really think that Brock Osweiler, the Denver Broncos quarterback, he replaced Trevor Siemian. He had a injury, and he just went off slinging it. And he ended up having a really good game. You know, they moved the ball better once he came in. They were, completing passes. He was just, letting it rip. Like, he just was throwing the ball good. He was very efficient. He was very accurate. It looked like the Broncos offense just had a lot more fun because we've never really seen that out of them this year. Just not, the effort, just want to go pound, like the offensive line, not just want to go pound anybody. I think they were the best unit out there today, was that offensive line for the Broncos, because before they kind of just looked lackluster, not, a lot of effort and stuff from previous weeks. But I think that Brock Osweiler, that energy, that leadership he brought in, I think that really changed the momentum of this game. And I think a lot of the guys played a lot harder. They had 3 receivers go over 60 yards, and then a couple touchdowns from Brock Osweiler, 1 rushing touchdown. And I really think that he changed the game. He was the game changer. If I had to give an award, it would go to Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the third down conversions and I'm looking at the fourth down conversions, and I'm seeing they're pretty equal stats. If anything, the favor is coming out, or it's coming out in favor of the Colts. What it looks like what the Broncos did better than the Colts in this one is their first down, their total yardage, their passing yardage. I mean, I don't know what the clock said on both of these teams, like who had the ball more or time-wise, but whatever the case is, the Broncos were just more efficient in getting those first down and getting those the yardage, the overall yardage. I think that they out-yarded the Colts by like almost 250 yards total. So, I mean, that makes obviously a big difference. I'm actually a little surprised it didn't make more of a difference in the game. 25-13 almost seems a little low considering what they could have done. I think it probably does go back to the fact that even though the Broncos did so well in that department, they still lacked in the third down conversions. They were like, 7 of 15, so about half the time. And same with the Colts, though. So that's that.
I also think too the Broncos did a good job this week is pounding the line of scrimmage. They had C.J. Anderson have 30 rushing attempts for 158 yards.
Nice.
So they were using the ground game, and that's something that the Broncos need to do because so far this year, actually, it's a crazy fact. When C.J. Anderson gets 20 or more rushing attempts, they win the game. They are undefeated. When he gets under 20 attempts, they're defeated. So I think feeding the C.J. Anderson the ball.
Get it to C.J. Anderson.
And another crazy stat, too, is their kicker has to miss at least 1 field goal to win. They're undefeated when he's missed 1 field goal this year. And I think that the biggest issues today was probably the special teams because Brandon McManus missed a field goal. And every single time, though, it's crazy how they end up winning.
Missed a field goal from how many yards out?
I don't remember, but I think he was like 1 for 2, maybe.
Okay.
I mean,
if he's attempting like a 59-yarder, I get it.
Yeah.
But
and a lot of them this year too was like a lot of like short yardage field goals that he's missing. Yeah, and I think this is his 8th field goal miss this year.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's missed a lot of field goals for sure, and then the offense was probably the best unit out there out of all the Broncos, which is really surprising, and it hasn't been their best unit at all this year. I think once Brock Osweiler came in, they were probably the best unit out there. And then the defense played also really good. They found a way to
Broncos. Yeah, defense. They shut down the Colts running game. 70 yards the Colts had against them versus the Broncos 111.
The thing that's so surprising, even though the Broncos had a rough season, they've really done a good job stopping running backs, especially good ones. Like I know in the beginning of the year it was Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon, LaShawn McCoy. All of those guys struggled against that Broncos defense, and I think it starts off with their defensive line. Their defensive line gets a good job penetration. They do a good job controlling the line of scrimmage with Von Miller on the outside, on the edge, and their defensive line in the middle. So that's definitely something that has been an upgrade this year, not like last year where they had a hard time.
I mean, what do you think about the cornerbacks and the safety situation? Because, I mean, it looks like they pretty much all but shut down the Colts passing game as well. I mean, they limited the Colts to like 26 attempts or something like that. What was the big one that? Oh no, they were 17 out of 30 attempts, but they kept the yards per reception so low, 5.1 yards per reception versus the Broncos 9. So I guess it goes. My original question is, what obviously they did well in this game. Has that been a theme for them all year? Strong downfield.
They actually struggled a lot this year in the secondary. I mean, I think that just with the age and everything, and also the way how the offense has been playing, I think it's definitely limited them of making big plays on defense. But I think last week against the Jets, limiting them, they had like less than 100 yards, I think, or exactly 100 yards. And I think that Darian Stewart, Will Parks, the safeties have been playing a lot better. Before they were struggling in coverage, they were struggling with making tackles, and they made a lot more tackles. And also, Aqib Talib made a lot more tackles because he had the most amount of tackles he's had in a game this year was 4, but that changed last night with 5. So he's made a couple tackles as a cornerback. Just seeing those defensive backs make a lot of tackles is definitely pretty good for say, and they were actually looked a lot better this game too, shutting down the Colts offense with their best receiver in T.Y. Hilton. Like he looked all right, but he didn't look great at all because of that Broncos no-fly zone secondary.
Yeah. All right. Well,